What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including The Undertaker blasting today's wrestlers and admitted he used steroids, a wrestler who was forced to retire because of injury could be coming back, the WWE's new hires, Roman Reigns' new theme, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now our first story looks at The Undertaker shooting on a current WWE product. Now The Undertaker isn't thrilled with the current WWE product, at least according to an interview he gave on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. When asked if he still watches the WWE, Taker responded, "I try, it's tough right now for me. The product has changed so much, and it's kind of off. I'll probably piss a lot of people off, but they need to hear it. It is what it is." To the younger guys who think he's a bitter old guy, I'm not bitter, I did my time. I walked away when I wanted to walk away. I just think the product is a little soft. There's guys here and there that have an edge to them, but there's too much pretty and not enough substance I think right now. The Phenom didn't just complain that he doesn't like the current product, he also gave a reason why he feels it's gone downhill. One of the big things that's happened was that the generation before, we all got old at the same time, so there weren't enough guys to work with the young guys. You can listen to the fans on the internet, or you can listen to someone who's been there and done it. There was just not enough of the merging of young and new talent. Take a name names. We had Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. We were all working together, and then we were all aged out. We aged out and it left all these young guys to learn with more young guys, and the product changed. The Undertaker's comments about wrestlers aging out doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Although Stone Cold and The Rock disappeared from the ring in the early 2000s, Triple H, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker remained around for some time, with Michaels retiring in 2010, well, kind of 2018, and the other two wrestlers continuing to wrestle even if it was less frequently. By that time, the WWE had stars such as John Cena, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton and Batista. Unless Taker is arguing these wrestlers didn't give back to the younger generation, an argument which could be made, his compliment that today's generation have no one to learn from rings hollow. In any event, Taker has discussed going to work at the Performance Center, and if he does, he will have considerable knowledge to impact. In fact, The Undertaker told Rogan that he likes what Triple H is doing at the Performance Center. The Performance Center is helping. We got Triple H who's trying to get some of the toothpaste back in the tube, take a step back to move forward to try and get the product more edge. I think that's what is missing. Another criticism has nothing to do with the in-ring product, but that of wrestlers themselves. In that era of guys too, those were men. You go into a dressing room nowadays and it's a lot different. I remember walking into my first real dressing room and all I saw was some crusty effing men. Half of them had guns and knives in their bags. Shit got handled back then. Now you walk in, there's guys playing video games and effing making sure they look pretty. It's evolution, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I just like those eras, man. I liked it when men were men. Is the product way too soft? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, he admitted he took steroids. The Undertaker also talked to Joe Rogan about whether or not he used steroids at any time in his WWE career, admitting there was a time when you had to be jacked, especially with the big guys there was a stigma. You had to be 300 pounds. It's in our head. Nobody gives a shit. They're interested in the characters we are on TV, but in our head it was like, I gotta be 350 pounds. The Undertaker went on to say he's blown away by today's wrestlers' incredible physiques. That was the wrestlers' mindsets then, but now we're tested for everything, which I don't understand because there are some big MFers out there and they're cut and I don't know how they did it. Like, I couldn't get that way when I was on steroids. Some critics have argued that the WWE's wellness policy is selective, which is why some wrestlers sport phenomenal physiques that suggest some help from a laboratory. The Undertaker went on to put over the WWE's wellness policy and said it equals or exceeds the quality of the NFL's testing policies and concussion protocol. You guys should definitely check out the full podcast on the Joe Rogan Experience channel. Next up, Randy Orton joining Retribution. Is Randy Orton going to join Retribution? Retribution has offered the WWE's Apex Predator a spot in Raw's Rogue faction again following Orton's promo where he warned WWE superstars entering the Rumble that everyone can thank the Fiend when I burn their Royal Rumble dreams to ashes. Retribution's T-Bar tweeted, "Spot is still open at Randy Orton." And you may recall Retribution invited Orton to join the group after he turned the Fiend into the Human Torch at TLC. T-Bar of Retribution tweeted last December, "Hey Randy Orton, the way you viciously murdered a WWE superstar really touched our hearts here in Retribution. Please know that our doors are now always open for you. Retribution could benefit from a strong leader like Orton, but would the group do anything for him? Well, that's a question the WWE needs to ask before making any changes to Retribution or Orton. Next up, a WWE superstar who is forced to retire could be returning. Jason Jordan was a promising young superstar who seemed to be on the fast track to a major push when he was presented as Kurt Angle's kayfabe kid. However, a neck injury ended his in-ring career and Jordan now works as a producer for the WWE. Recently, Jordan's former American Alpha tag team partner Chad Gable appeared on the bump and discussed how Jordan is apparently training for a potential comeback. He mentioned Jordan is working toward making an in-ring return. It's unfortunate what happened to him with his injury, but you never say never. He's working on it and trying to get back. Who knows, there's always a chance at a reunion, and that's something I'd never be against. If Jordan were to return, would you like to see American Alpha reform? Or would you like Jason Jordan to have his proper singles career push like he was headed into? Next up, Roman Reigns' new entrance music. Roman Reigns has been carving out a new persona for himself as the tribal chief, whether it's his promos or his look. Recently, the Universal Champion talked to Bleacher Report about also working on a new entrance theme. Yeah, we're working on it. I'll just say that, we're working on it. It's not easy. I'm not gonna just, with this character, it's gotta be the right vibe. I can't, you can't just hire a rapper or check out this guitar riff. It can't be just some rock music. The WWE may want to consider having Jey Uso make an appearance in the new theme much as he does in Roman's title defenses. Now Roman's still using the old Shield music, so changing his theme is well overdue. Next up, Rey Mysterio's big betrayal. The Royal Rumble is fast approaching, and while the WWE Universe knows the event is billed as every man for himself, could fans see Rey Mysterio making a big betrayal? The Master of the 619 spoke on the bump about what might happen if he finds himself in the ring against his son Dominic. I would have to throw him out right away. Yeah, we have to do it. There's just no option. Either he goes or I go. But I'm sure that I get the first dibs on that, so he's going over the top. Dominic should be prepared for Papa Mysterio to give him the heave-ho if they cross paths in the Rumble, and while it's all part of the match's dynamic, fans know it can lead to some bad blood down the road. After all, how many feuds have been set up by just one person eliminating another in the Rumble? Next up, the WWE signs 3 female wrestlers. Congratulations to the WWE's 3 new hires. NXT tweeted the announcement revealing the superstars' new ring names. WWE NXT is proud to announce the signings of Zoe Stark, formerly known as Lacey Ryan, Gigi Dolan, formerly known as Priscilla Kelly, and Cora Jade, formerly known as Elena Black. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens noted it's believed all 3 women will work in the first ever Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And finally, Renee Young invites Vince to her podcast. A former WWE personality, Renee Young, has been staying busy, whether it's her new cookbook or podcast. Recently, a fan suggested Renee invite Vince McMahon to the show, which she responded, "Hey Vince McMahon, you down?" While it's highly unlikely, it would make for a great conversation. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.